Well, Sue Moore is joining us now. Obviously, well-known head, but you've got a different hat on for this interview. Can you just
That's right. I'm branch secretary for the Association of School and College Leaders, which on the Isle of Man represents all of the secondary schools.
Okay. I mean, there's chaos in the schools. There's breakdown in communications. There's no trust between pupils and the teachers, and they're all having a lot of problems. Well, 80% or something. What would you say to this?
I mean, it's ridiculous, isn't it? It would be laughable if it weren't so sad that people are saying this about our children in our schools. You just have to go in a school. Anyone who's set foot in any of the schools on the island knows that that is not a true reflection of our schools.
But there are some people who are members of this union who have written or filled in a survey who have said that it is.
There are some people, and the number is unclear. The percentages drawn from that are therefore invalid. And I think that this particular union has exaggerated, frankly. Every school has one or two children who exhibit challenging behaviour. So I would say that all of our children are lovely some of the time. Most of them are lovely all of the time. Some of them exhibit challenging behaviours, and we work together to support them.
What do you feel about this business that once they leave school, it's no longer your issue, you can't do anything about it, as it stands until any legislation goes through, and it does end up with the police? Have you had any teachers that have had issues at your school?
Not recently. I mean, it depends how far back you go, doesn't it? We have a long time ago had a teacher who had eggs thrown at, I think it was Hopchinay, and we dealt with it actually in school. We dealt with it by asking the children to come in with their parents. The parents mortified, the children apologised, job done. That was a relatively low-level thing. I think and there are occasional incidents of criminal behaviour, and I do think we have a duty of care to our employees, to the teachers in our schools, to make sure that they are not victimised because of their job. So on that, I would agree. All the unions are agreed on that, and so is the department.
If you had a teacher that had a problem, do you think they would come to you with it first, or is that the action they should take, or do they take it to the union rep, or do they take it to the police?
It depends on the incident. So, I mean, I would say to teachers, they are members of the public too. So if something has happened in the community, you would normally go to the police, wouldn't you? If you're burgled, if something's happened to you, if you're assaulted, you would go to the police. Teachers are the same as anybody else. If it's something that's happened in the community, they go to the police. If it's a low-level thing that they're happy to discuss and they know the child and they think that that's going to be better all round, then of course we'll deal with it that way. We work with young people because we care about young people, and none of us wants to criminalise young people. And you know, the nature of particularly working with teenagers is they make mistakes, they take risks, they do things that they shouldn't. Which one of us as adults can say that we've never done something wrong?
What damage do you think this has done the education system here? Because, as I said to the Minister, this will end up in the Google search engines. This is the one that will be on the television in the morning, regionally, even who knows where. If it wasn't Brexit, it could make a national story. Because it sounds like a breakdown completely. I mean, from those, if you read that press release...
It's so unfair.
So, I mean, that's... The majority of teachers are
I would be surprised. I mean, I've got, I think, 15 members of this particular union in my school. None of them has ever come to me with any concerns about this. As I say, we all have one or two children who challenge and don't follow the rules, and we deal with them as best we can. But it's not a reflection of our experience of working in schools. Every person who visits our school comments on the lovely atmosphere, the positive relationships, and that's across the board, across the island. We're internationally known.
So do you think damage will be done with this?
I hope not. I think we as a community on the Isle of Man need to come together to say this does not reflect the young people in our care. It's very unfair on them. The students in my school will be horrified if that's how they're being portrayed. It's not fair. There's a tiny, tiny proportion of children and one or two teachers who've been badly affected. The vast majority of us, and even those teachers who have been affected by the minority, would, I think, say that's not true of most children. Most children are lovely. We go to school wanting to work with young people because we care about them, we're passionate about them, and they come to school wanting to have a good day at school. That's not a true reflection of our schools.